Namo Namaste Gurave Mahatmane Vimukta Sangaya Saduttamaya Nityadvayananda Rasaswarupine Bhumne Sada Paradayam Budhamne Namaste Namaste Vibho Vishwamurte Namaste Namaste Chidanandamurte Namaste Namaste Tapoyogagamya Namaste Namaste Shrutijnanagamya Swarajya Samrajya Vibhutiresha Bhavat Kripa Shri Mahima Prasadat Prapta Maya Shri Gurave Mahatmani Namo Namaste Stu Punarnamostu Namo Namaste Stu Punarnamostu Namo Namaste Stu Punarnamostu Namastasmai Sadaikasmai Kasmai Chinmahase Namaha Yadetad Vishwarupena Rajate Guru Rajati Yadetad Vishwarupena Rajate Guru Rajate. Hari Tatsat Jai Guru. Shanti Mantra. Om Shanno Mitra Sham Varunaha.
Om Shanno Mitra Sham Varunaha.
Shanno Bhavatvaryama.
Shanno Bhavatvaryama.
Shanna Indro Brihaspatihi.
Shanna Indro Brihaspatihi.
Shanno Vishnurukramaha.
Shanno Vishnurukramaha.
Namo Brahmane Namaste Vaayuh.
Namo Brahmane Namaste Vaayuh.
Tvameva Pratyaksham Brahmasi.
Tvameva Pratyaksham Brahmasi.
Tvameva Pratyaksham Brahma vadishyami.
Tvameva Pratyaksham Brahma vadishyami.
Ritam vadishyami.
Ritam vadishyami.
Satyam vadishyami.
Satyam vadishyami.
Tanmamavatu.
Tanmamavatu.
Tadvaktaramavatu.
Tadvaktaramavatu.
Avatu mamavatu vaktaram.
Avatu mamavatu vaktaram.
Om Shanti Shanti Shanti.
Om Shanti Shanti Shanti.
So, to summarize, we have been going through various upasanas. I told earlier also, upasana means sitting near. That means upasanas Even meditation, generally what we say is also an upasana. As long as it is upasana, there is a duality. There will always be a duality. So the end of upasana is when whatever we are contemplating on, that we become identical to that. We get merged into that. That merger is the end of upasana. Generally in our Shastra it is said, Devo Bhutva Devan Apyeti. The Deva, the Ishtadeva we are worshipping, that puja ends when we become that Deva. We get merged with that Deva. Now, this upasana can be of various ways, but we should remember that in all upasanas there is one alambana. Alambana means you can say prop, you can say support, you can say refuge also. I don't know whether you remember, in both, in Kathopanishad particularly, we had regarding the Om Upasana, the Pranava Upasana. The shloka is Etad alambanam shreshtham, etad alambanam param, etad alambanam jnatva yo brahmaloke mahiyate. Etad alambanam shreshtham, etad alambanam param. Alambana means that when we are holding on to Omkara as an upasana, we are chanting, and with that we are merging our mind with that, the whole bhava, mind, everything is assisted to merge with the Brahman, with the Omkara. The Omkara is used as an alambana. So there it is saying that this alambana is the Shrestha and this alambana is the supreme. Why? Because Omkara is the gist, is the essence of Vedas. Everywhere it is said, and all the mantras are starting with the Omkara. It is the essence of all the Vedas. Why? Because the purpose of the Vedas is to give us the realization of our real identity, which is nothing different from Brahman, the Atma and Brahman. So if that is the ultimate purpose of Vedas, and Omkara represents that Brahma Vidya, it is considered to be the supreme alambana, supreme prop, supreme support, supreme refuge. That is, if we take refuge in this, etad alambanam shreshtham, etad alambanam param, considering this to be the supreme and the best support, etad alambanam jnatva. Suppose you are practicing, when we start practicing, we will not know the power of Omkara. This I have been telling almost everywhere. When we do a mantra, even given by a guru, the mantra has been given by the guru. When we take the mantra, it is our faith in the guru that makes us practice faithfully whatever the guru has said. But we really do not know the power of the mantra at that point. As we do the sadhana faithfully, fully well, slowly the mantra starts becoming powerful. And we start discovering the power of the mantra. It is like fire. By sadhana, we are lighting up the fire more and more and more. Finally, it blazes forth in us, and we understand that this is what. The moment you chant the mantra, immediately you will, in a way, I will say that we will feel we will have an experience of vanishing, evaporating. The mantra will become so powerful, the moment you chant the mantra, you will feel that you are bodiless, you have evaporated. That should happen. That generally happens. So, as we practice the mantra more and more and more faithfully, what happens is that etad alambanam jnatva. Then we come to know what is this support, what is this mantra, what is this alambana, refuge we have taken to so far. It reveals its power. Brahmaloke mahiyate. So finally it takes us to the realization of the truth. Now, everywhere in Upasana, suppose you are worshipping Shiva. You take a Shiva Linga for your worship. Now when you are worshipping, you don't consider the stone to be the Shiva. You have certain concept of Shiva in your mind, and you are using the murti or the stone as a support, as an alambana for you to remember Shiva, practice it. Everywhere it is like that. We have something which we take as a representative, just like Brahma Vidya, the Omkara is taken as the representative of Brahma Vidya. And it reminds us, it immediately produces the bhava in our being that whatever is the Brahman. Similarly in puja also, the moment we sit in front of the murti, the bhava should overtake us. If it doesn't do, then we don't progress. But it should immediately come to us. That is the purpose of the alambana. Now here in the Vedas, various things are taken as alambana depending on the sadhak. As I explained in the previous chapter and the shlokas, that generally a student will be given to chanting the Veda mantras. And there are the ways are given that it has to be chanted in this manner, that manner. The Shikshavalli started with the pronunciation rules, and there the first Upasana which we were discussing in detail was, if you remember, Samhitopasana. That means Samhita Upasana. Samhita means the conjunction of the letters. Even in chanting, what they were doing, you should not chant mechanically. You have chanted enough, you have learned how to chant, you have taken by heart all the Veda mantras, but it will not serve its purpose. So from that chanting, we have to slowly take our mind to the subtler and subtler truth. So in the chanting itself, they had introduced some upasana where the two letters are coming in conjunction, how the mind should proceed from one to the other. So all those are called Samhita Upasana. Samhita means conjunction, that how the conjunction of the letters have to be converted into a prop, into a support, which will take our mind closer to the truth. Now in this case I said that the next chapter was the Upasana utilizing the Vyahritis, particularly 4 Vyahritis. Bhuh, Bhuvah, Suvah or Swaha and Mahah. The first 3 are more well known. Bhur, Bhuvah, Swaha or Subha. Now these are called Vyahriti. I explained that Vyahriti means Vishesha Rupena Ahriti. That means it is the collected, the essence of the Vedas. Each Vyahriti, like Bhuh, Bhuvah, Suvah. In our last class we found that each is related to one Veda. Bhuvah is related to Rig Veda. Bhuh is related to the Rig Veda. Bhuvah is related to the Sama Veda. And Suvah is related to the Yajur Veda. So whatever, that each is related to each Vedas, and those Vyahritis means it is the essence of the Vedas. Now in defining the essence, there are so many shlokas, so many mantras. How is it that one small two-lettered word is taken as the essence of that entire Veda? The Vyahritis. So it is not just 2 letters. Finally what is happening? All these Vyahritis are merging into the Omkara, which is a monosyllable. Just Om. Why? Because that is taking us to the essence of the Vedas. What is the essence? Essence is to know our own identity. Our consciousness is to get merged in the consciousness. So whatever will help us to merge in the consciousness, that is the real secret. Now they have, earlier I mentioned that it is not only getting merged into it, they are also regarded as the mantras of creation, the secret words of creation. I explained that In Mundaka Upanishad it is there, tapasa chiyate brahma, tatovanam abhijayate. How the whole Srishti, the creation has come? It is by the tapas of the consciousness of Brahman. What can be the tapas? Brahman doesn't have hands, legs, and nothing was there. So just the consciousness, how can it have a tapas? To explain something close to that, they explain that tapasa chiyate brahma. I said that I had given an example that when you are standing in the ocean or sea, particularly when you have gone into the water, so that part of your body is already dipped in the water, then you can feel it that the whole sea is swelling, the swelling of the ocean, the swelling of the water. Now, you don't know that the water is coming from all the places and the water is increasing. It is not that. What you are having in your mind is a feeling of a swelling, as if it is swelling. And then what happens? After the swelling, it breaks into various waves and breakers and all the varieties that come from that. That is what we experience in the sea. Now, all these things, all these examples, they are all in a way what I am meaning by Upasana. They are all representing Upasana. How? Because nowadays we don't have time to deeply experience anything. What can I say? People are even sitting anywhere, sitting in nature also, they are looking into the mobile and sending some message or doing this, doing that. I don't know what has happened to the whole humanity. There is so much to be learned from the nature. And we don't have the leisure also. Always we are in hurry. The Upasana करना है 10 मिनट हो गया, उसके बाद exercise करना है या chanting करना है 15 मिनट. That 15 minutes we will chant, then 10 minutes we will sit for meditation, or half an hour we will sit for meditation, then I will run to the office or whatever. This spiritual sadhana cannot be done in that manner. It is not an exercise that we do it for 2 minutes, 5 minutes, half an hour or 1 hour, nothing. You have to be completely restful. You have to take the whole universe in you. I mean, it is like absorbing, it is like breathing in the whole universe into us, whole nature into us. It needs leisure. It needs a complete merger. But we don't spend the time. What can be done? In saying this, I remember in childhood, I used to go in Jamshedpur, I am talking about, I was studying in school. I used to go to a hilltop, there was a rock. Both morning and evening I used to go onto the rock and sit there. And looking at the sometimes sunrise, sometimes sunset, or after sunset, looking at the sky, looking at the clouds. And all the great experiences I had sitting there, many of the great experiences. I used to get completely immersed in nature. Later on, when I joined the college, there was nearby was the Calcutta's biggest graveyard, a Christian graveyard was there. It was an open place where there won't be any disturbance. It's a very big one in Park Circus, Park Street. So I still remember almost every evening, whenever there is time, I used to go into the graveyard. There would be nobody by that time, and sit near some tomb where the sculptures will be there, marble sculptures used to be there. And some of the fairies, particularly small child, I still remember the face and everything. It was so beautiful. Beautiful means it's not ordinary beauty I am talking about. The face used to radiate purity. The face of that sculpture used to radiate purity. Looking at that, sitting silently looking at that, I used to absorb purity. I used to get purified. By just looking at that, I used to get purified. Like that, anything in the nature we can, this is all Upasana. Normally our essential nature, we are absolutely pure. We have got polluted by the Upasana of the small worldly things. All kinds of raga, dvesha, this I like, this I don't like. They are all agitating our mind. They are also Upasanas. We are sitting close not to the Lord or not to Brahman, but sitting close to my building, my class, my this, my that, everything, or my enemy or my friend. We are always doing upasana of that, ragadvesha. We are doing the upasana of ragadvesha. That upasana has to be changed. So then every time we can, how the blessedness, how the dhanyata will be felt by us, unless we evaluate things, unless we try to absorb that which is great, we will never have dhanyata. Even staying near closely to a Mahatma also, we will never understand his Mahatmya. The greatness will never be understood unless we try to understand the greatness. But our focus is somewhere else. So, these upasanas, they may appear to be strange. We may not do this kind of upasanas with the Vyahritis they are saying. But we have to do upasana of what we can do now. All these Vyahritis, what is that? Bhuh, Bhuvah, Suvah. What is that? Bhuh is this earth. Bhuvah is the Antariksha, that is the in-between space. And Svarga is the world of luminaries, the world of stars and planets and all. Now, can we not get completely can we not spread ourselves in all these three? Can we not breathe in the whole universe within us? Actually, the whole universe, it is appearing in us also. Unless the mind becomes expanded, we will not understand the infinitude of what we are seeing. So, we in these, whatever is said, if you remember these things, then the reading will become meaningful. Otherwise, these are all Greek, Latin, or more than that. It is not understandable. We have to understand that they are in Vedic age also, they were trying to take the Vedic students to subtler and subtler level, their mind. For that they are using these various Vyahritis and other things, so that the Upasana takes them close to the ultimate truth. Now, when we speak about knowledge, we should remember that the Jnana sadhana is not Upasana. But by doing Upasana, we have to become fit for knowledge. Our one teacher used to say that knowledge is simple, Jnana is simple, but the developing the adhikara for Jnana, adhikara means fitness. The Jnana is simple, but to have the fitness for knowledge is the real thing. Our sadhana is to become fit for knowledge. In Kathopanishad I said so many times that when Nachiketa proved his fitness for knowledge by whatever he told Yamaraja, he tried to entice him, he tried to attract him by so many things of the world, and not only this world, but the other world and everything. Then in 3 statements he completely refuted everything, so that Yamaraja understood that it's not, I will not be able to deprive him of knowledge. So he gave a certificate that may more and more disciples like you come to us, O Nachiketa. You are a Satyadhriti. Satyadhriti means when the truth is given, you will be able to hold it, you will be able to absorb it and retain it and pass it over also. The Brahma sadhana is wide open before you, simply walk in. How did he say that? Nachiketa had done no sadhana apparently there. He did not do any upasana, he did not do anything. But his mind had the sadhana chatushtaya, all the criteria of fitness in ample measure. He had the Jnana Yogyata or Jnana fitness for knowledge. So Yamaraja said that it's all, you can simply walk in to it's a figurative expression, to the Jnana sadhana, Brahma sadhana. All these things will come. This 6th shloka ends with Prachina Yogya. You do Upasana like this. It ends with that. The name Prachina Yogya, this Yogya has come from the Yogyata. That, oh my dear disciple, you have the fitness, do this kind of Brahma Upasana. It ends with that. So these mantras we will be able to understand better when we keep these fundamental ideas in mind. Now, what is the Jnana Sadhana? Jnana Sadhana is Shravana, Manana, Nididhyasana. There is no alambana. Initially you can say Atma is the alambana, Brahman is the alambana as a concept. You are not supposed to do Upasana, they are like chanting Om or chanting some other mantras like that. You have to listen to the truth. You have to do vichara on the truth, manana on the truth. And by doing manana, your mind and buddhi both will get completely transformed. When they get transformed, your mind will automatically merge in the thought of the truth, in the concept of the truth, which becomes nididhyasana, by which we say that jnana or jnana samadhi, that means you get completely stabilized in the knowledge. Now in this kind of upasana, even the experiences they have talking about in the next verse or so, even if you have that experience of merging in the Brahman, it will not be a full permanent solution for you. Until we discovered the truth in everything in the world also, our sadhana will not be complete. We may have experience, Atma Sakshatkara we may have. That will be a great experience, but again we will be caught in various things. The mind will not remain in the permanent. For that, knowledge is necessary. So here it is all with an alambana. In one case the alambana is the samhita, that is conjunction of letter. Then the alambanas are the Vyahritis, that is what is going on. Whereas in the knowledge sadhana, it will just be Shravana, Manana, Nididhyasana. There is no other alambana there. So, see what I said today, I myself am feeling that it is very important. What all we are doing throughout life, you look back and see what has happened by doing all this, constantly remaining running from this to that, constantly remaining busy, one after another things. Sometimes we might have done this puja also as a regular exercise for 40 years, 50 years, 60 years. What has happened? We never look back and think. We should do it. It needs time. It needs a poised merger. It's not difficult. Only we don't care, we don't give it a value. The real sadhana is not difficult at all. Now, last day, whatever we had done, if you see in the slide 5 and 6, but let us go one by one, 5 then 6. What I wanted to point out is, you will find that Mahah, the fourth one, in the 5th slide, the 4th shloka, it is called Mahah iti Aaditya. That is Bhuh iti va ayam lokaha, Bhuvah iti Antariksham, Suvah iti asau lokaha, and Mahah iti Aaditya, Adityena vava sarve loka mahiyante. That was the mantra there. Now there, because here in this mantra, all are objects. That Bhuh, this Prithvi, it is ayam lokaha, means this world. They are thinking of the external Prithvi there. Bhuvah iti Antariksham, that is the intermediate space between the Prithvi and the luminaries. Suvah iti asau lokaha, that the Suvah is the heavenly stars and planets and all. Mahah iti Aditya. Aditya is the sun there. That the sun is the source of whatever luminaries we are seeing, that was the idea. So sun is the basic item there, from which even Prithvi has come. Now there we are pointing out to the objects which are taken as our alambana for meditation. We are meditating on the Bhuh, we are meditating on the Bhuvah, like that. But in the next one, that is shloka number 5, the slide number 6. See, on the top I have given the heading. The first heading in number 5 slide is contemplation on the Vyahritis as the lokas or worlds. In the second one, contemplation of the Vyahritis as gods, that means powers of nature. God means in Vedic era, all the gods were powers of nature, various powers of nature. Now there he is saying, Bhuh riti va Agni. The Bhuh, which was Prithvi, it is now they are saying it is Agni now. Agni means energy, you can fire. You can think of energy. That basic element in Prithvi is the fire or heat or energy. So they have, Agni is considered to be the Deva, to be the god of the Prithvi. So we have now moved over from the gross items to the subtler items where the corresponding god or the natural power is taken as the alambana. If you understand these things, then reading the Upanishad will not be difficult. But if you don't understand, it is all contradiction, because here he is saying Mahah iti Chandrama. Last day also I have explained in some manner. Now here it is said, Bhuh iti va Agni, Bhuvah iti Vaayuh. Vaayuh means the air, but breath. Vaayuh, another meaning is prana, because without the air we won't have the life forces working. So our vital energy, the Vaayuh is considered as the vital energy, the prana also. Suvah iti Aaditya. See here, there the Mahah was the Aditya. Here Suvah has become Aditya, because the whole heavenly things are coming from the Surya, and the heaven is the Suvaha. So now Suvah earlier was the Asaulokaha, it was the heavenly world. Now you are going to the essence, that Aditya, from where all the Jyotish, all the luminaries have come. So that has become now Suvah in the subtler level. And what is Mahah? Mahah iti Chandrama. The Mahah is the moon. How moon? This we have to understand, that the moon in our Vedas are always considered to be the power of the mind. Even otherwise also the psychiatrists also consider, because those who are mentally a little destabilized, it has been found in many various mental hospitals and all, they go quite haywire during Purnima, Amavasya, etc. That our mind is actually very much related to the moon. And moon has got the power, attraction, the strongest attraction, much more than the sun over earth. You know that the high tide and low tide, it is so much visible, so much powerful. It's all depending on the position of the moon. Another thing is that when it is day, when the sun is lit, what happens? All the multifarious variety, that becomes visible to us, is it not? When the sun is there, are you looking at the sun? You cannot look at the sun also. But the sun is revealing all varieties, and our mind is caught by all the varieties. Now when the sun goes and it is all darkness, then those varieties should go from the mind. And what is beyond sun? How are we seeing the sun? Unless our consciousness is there, we will never see the sun. So there is something beyond sun. Our Upanishads, Vedas are also saying that from sun, all below, it is all the world of duality, world of objects. And what is beyond sun? They call it Chandrama, or other places it is called Somaloka. Soma, Chandra is related to the Soma. Even the also Soma Yaga is there where you need the liquor corresponding to that also. Now, what is that Soma? Soma is considered to be the most cooling. The moonlight is considered to be most cooling. And it is covering the whole sky. In sun, it is all light, but can you feel that light? Can you have the corresponding experience which you can have in moonlight? Moonlight, as if it is the whole sky is illumined by that. Like that, our consciousness also is like that. Our Atma is like that. 100 times we will say. We are missing it because our attention is not there. That Atma, whenever we are seeing all these things, when we collect our mind from this disturbance, not getting disturbed by that, we will find like the moonlight, it is always illumining our mind from behind. And it is with the mind that we are knowing the everything, even we are talking about the truth and all, it is all within the mind. And the transcending the mind is this Soma Loka, which is the world of which is the God of the mind, which remains illumining our consciousness, illumining our awareness. The other day, last day I said that we can compare it with the Chidabhasa. That means the original consciousness, which is universal consciousness, which when reflected in our buddhi or passes through our buddhi or manifests through our buddhi, we call it Chit Abhasa, Chidabhasa. The original consciousness, universal consciousness is called Chit, there is nothing. But when it is creating the body, mind, personality and expressing itself through our buddhi, it becomes the Chidabhasa. That is the awareness we are always feeling. That is always there. So here actually Mahah, now they have taken the Mahah to be beyond all the objective lokas, objective world. And there he is calling it Chandrama. Chandramasa bhava sarvani jyotimshi mahiyante. This is absolutely true because without the mind no sun will be seen, no objects will be seen. It is the power, the consciousness which has to illumine all. Shankaracharya has a Kim Jyotistava, Kim Jyotistotra. What is the ultimate Jyotihi, ultimate luminary? The Shishya is saying something and the Guru is asking something. I think it is there in Mah's verses for introspection. That finally it ends up with, then what is the real Jyoti? It is I, our own identity. Because of that only we are seeing everything. Now in the next one, in the seventh one, the sixth one was Bhuh iti va Agni, Bhuva iti Vaayuh, Suvah iti Aaditya, Mahah iti Chandrama, Chandramasa bhava sarvani jyotimshi mahiyante. In the seventh one you find, again the Mahah is said another different, Mahah iti Brahma. What is the seventh, sixth mantra, but in the seventh slide? I have written the heading there as Contemplation of the Vyahritis as the Vedas. The first one was contemplation on the Vyahritis as lokas, as the world, objective loka, object lokas. The second was what? Contemplation of the Vyahritis as natural powers of nature. That means same object, the Prithvi became Agni, the Vaayuh became Prana, and the Bhuvah became Vaayuh or Prana, and Suvah became Aaditya, Mahah became Chandrama. Now it is related to each Veda. Veda means the books of knowledge. Now contemplation on the Vyahritis as the Vedas. Bhuh iti va Richaha means Rig Veda. Bhuva iti Samani means the Samaveda mantras. Suvah iti Yajumshi, that means the Yajurveda mantras. Then what is left for Mahah? We know about Atharva Veda, but they have not mentioned in this whole Atharva doesn't come. Mahah iti Brahma, that the Brahman itself is the Mahah. Why? Mahah is everywhere the essence of the other three. Right in the beginning I said Mahah, the Mahachamasya, who the rishi who discovered this Mahah, that Mahah is spreading everywhere in all the three Vyahritis. The fourth one is not just the fourth, but it is the essence of the other three also. So the Brahman is the truth which is manifest in the three Vedas. So the essential item is Brahman, the truth. So he is saying Mahah iti Brahma here. See, here actually Mahah is unfolding, or you can say expansion of the Vyakti Chaitanya, of the individual consciousness into universal consciousness. That is where everything is covered. Now this, if we remember, then in each of the contemplation of the Mahah, we will find that if we do it, if the Upasana is done properly, then it is the universalization of our own consciousness. We will become universal. In the next mantra we will find how he covers up the whole world. He becomes the Supreme Purusha. Brahmana vava sarve veda mahiyante. He has clearly said Maha iti Brahma. Why Maha is becoming Brahman here? Because it is the Brahman which is the essence of all the Vedas. All the Vedas are glorified. It is only because of Brahman, not because of their mantras. They are only glorifying the truth, which is Brahman. Then in 8th slide, that is 7th mantra of that 5th Anuvaka, contemplation of the Vyahritis as life breaths, as the prana. That is, prana has got 5 limbs. It is divided into prana, apana, vyana, samana, and what is the other one? Udana. So they are all the 5 limbs. Here basically they have mentioned only prana, apana and vyana. Prana means upward breathing, apana means downward force, and vyana means the junction of prana and apana, where the vital energy is spread all over the body as well as everywhere, you can say. So he is saying Bhuh ritiva pranaha. Now the Vyahriti Bhuh, it has to be meditated upon as the prana, that when we are breathing, our consciousness is going upward, breathing in. Then the whole Prithvi, or you can say Agni, as we have already meditated upon, that should become, we should become full of that. Bhuvah iti apanaha. When it is forced down, it is descending, then it is the Antariksha. The whole Antariksha is coming in. If you do the pranayama properly, if you do this meditation properly, you will find that it is an experienced truth I am saying. You will find that your breath will cover up the whole universe, as if you are breathing in the whole universe and breathing out the whole universe. Such a great feeling will dawn in us, will grace us. It only needs our giving our full energy to it, giving our full attention to it. Even in pranayama practice also it happens. So, Suvariti Vyanaha, Maha iti Annam. Now see, Maha, it is changing one after another. First was Maha iti Aaditya, when the 3 worlds and the ultimate sun. Second one was Maha iti Chandrama, when it is going beyond the world of duality, world of cyclic motion, everything we have crossed there. We are looking at when there is no physical light at all. What is the light there? They are saying that is the Soma, that is the Chandrama, that is the light of consciousness. It is not the physical light. We have gone beyond the physical light. Then when they are comparing with the Vedas, then it became the Brahman itself, the substance, the essence of the Vedas. Now he is saying Maha iti Annam. Why Annam? Annam means food. Annam means food for anything. Actually, it means objectude also. Because who is the I? I is the subject, is it not? Our I is our consciousness, our identity. It is the subject who is looking at the world. Not only the external world, even internal world of thoughts, emotions, etc. The I is knowing them. I is the knower. All others are known objects. So whatever is fed into the I is actually Annam. That means the entire objectude is Annam. I is the only subject. Now here they are saying Mahah iti Annam means that whole prana in the world is coming from Anna. In our case also, in Vyakti Chaitanya, in individual being also, the prana, apana, vyana, all the life forces, the vitality, how are they functioning? It is all coming from the food. So in both way, in individual sense as well as the universal sense, both way it is so. Annena bhava sarve prana mahiyante. Because all the pranas, the vital energies, the life forces, they are all living on the basis of Anna. So they are trying to put Maha as the fundamental thing in everything. They have already said Maha is the Brahman. So finally Maha takes us to the ultimate level. Then I have explained in the last class that how the four are divided into the four. That table was given, that is slide number 10. Just to remind, I am not going deeper into it. The Vyahritis are there, then what are the four? Lokas, the power of nature, that is gods, then Vedas, then the life forces, prana, apana, vyana, and the Anna, who is the fundamental life force. Now comes the 12th slide. This is Sikshavalli, Shashthonuvaka, contemplation of Brahman in Hridayakasha. So they are slowly moving from contemplation of outer things, thinking of the whole universe. From there, now they are going down to our own insight. See how they are progressing from, it is all, everywhere it is meditation. Meditation on the objects, meditation on the entire universe, meditation on our Vedas, meditation on our different aspects of life, etc. Now finally, the meditation is on our own heart, not the biological heart. They are saying that there is a big space, there is a huge space within our heart, and that is the Purusha. There lies the Purusha. In many places it will be there that Angushtamatram Purusha, that is as if it is the size of the thumb. That means when we are trying to focus on our heart, there also we try to think of our heart as something different from me, is it not so? That I is different and I am trying to focus on heart, something small. We want an alambana again there. But actually it is not so. The I itself is the heart. That is why it is in many places of Upanishad, I said that it is called Guha. It's a Hrid Guha. The I or the Purusha is hidden in the Hrid Guha. So let us just read it and then we'll go into the detail. This is the 6th Anuvaka. Chapter 6 also you can say. Saya esho antarhridaya akashaha tasminnayam purusho manomayah amrito hiranmayah antarena taluke ya eshastana ivavalambate सेन्द्रयोनिः यत्रासौ केशान्तो विवर्तते व्यपोह्य शीर्षकपाले भूरित्यग्नौ प्रतितिष्ठति भुव इति वायौ सुवरिति आदित्ये महः इति ब्रह्मणि आप्नोति स्वाराज्यम् आप्नोति मनसस्पतिं वाक्पतिश्चक्षुष्पतिः क्षेत्रपतिः विज्ञानपतिः एतत्ततो भवति आकाशशरीरं ब्रह्म सत्यात्मप्राणारामं मन आनन्दं शान्तिसमृद्धम् अमृतम् इति प्राचीनयोग्योपास्व इति प्राचीनयोग्य उपास्व इति षष्ठोऽनुवाकः. Now this speaks about everything, about the final upasana and the experience. Now you will find there is a little closeness with Raja Yoga or Hatha Yoga also. But these are all experiences of our awareness which one will cross through once we are serious. So he says, 13th slide. स य एषो अन्तरहृदय आकाशः तस्मिन् अयं पुरुषो मनोमयः अमृतो हिरण्मयः. He says that actually Hridi Akasha, Hridaya Akasha, it's a very common term used because when we look into our own eye, it's a new space. It's altogether a new space. There we have to look for it. Actually, we have to look for it. It is not so that it is something we will discover which is hiding in the Hridaya Akasha. It's not like that. Our consciousness will get completely released in that Akasha. When we focus there and we are able to do it, then we will get the liberation, we will get the sky-like dimension within. He said that Tasmin Ayam Purushaha. The Purusha is existing there. This Purusha word has come, there are 3-4 etymologies. One is Puri Shete iti Purusha. That means consider this Hridaya Akasha as the Puri, as the palace, as the town, as the city, or as the space where the Purusha means what? The I. Purusha means I, which is same as Brahman. So Purusha are two, many, but let us take two now. One is Purishete iti Purusha, means when we are referred to a Vyakti, an individual, then where is that I? It is lying in the Hridaya Akasha, in the Hrid Guha, or sometimes we say Buddhi Guha also. Both are same but experientially a little different. Hrid Guha is when you see that what is the emotional center of our being. We say, if somebody says that, have you done it? No, I have not done it. The I, we are referring to this region that we call as heart. That is emotionally always we are referring I to this place, which is the one of the chakras. But Buddhi Guha means when you are trying to find out who am I. That means I am the seer of the body, I am the seer of the mind, I am the seer knower of the thoughts, I am the knower of all concepts, I am the knower of Buddhi. At that time, are you thinking here or are you going somewhere in the Buddhi? From the mind, Buddhi, and further you are going deeper inside, where from all these things are originating. So, when it is approached through vichara, we call it Buddhi Guha. And when it is approached through emotion, the I-ness in us, then we call it Hrid Guha. Both are same, it's not different. Both are identical. The I is not different, the I is only one. It has the emotional expression, it has the emotional aspect, it has the understanding aspect. As we approach to this path or that path, there is a difference. But finally it is the same. No difference at all. So, when we say Purishete iti Purushaha, then we mean that it is in the individual, it is lying somewhere in the Hridayakasha. That is why we say Purishete iti Purushaha. But when that Purusha itself becomes the Brahman, then we call it Purushaha, because Purnam Anena Sarvamiti. That everything is full with that consciousness. So that is also called Purushaha. It is the same Purusha. One understanding is that it is within me, another understanding is that it is the substratum of the whole universe on which the universe is appearing to be. When we understand that both are not different, that is the real knowledge. Now, so they are saying, Tasmin ayam Purushaha. The Purusha is lying in the Hridayakasha. How? Manomayaha. That mind, it is first expression, it is coming out as the mind. Without the mind, we will not do anything. All the indriyas are ruled by the mind. Without the support of the mind, nothing can be done. And where will we know? The Purusha, when we come to know, where will we know? It is the pure mind itself becomes the Atma. There is nothing else to know. The mind itself, by our sadhana, it gets purified, that it's whatever we know, it has to appear in our mind. Without that, nothing can be known. That is why we say that unless the mind is expanded, unless the mind is purified, even if God, we know the God will be known as small, dirty, all. We will not know the God as a pure, universal anything. Because how will you know? To know anything, it has to appear in the mind. Until the mind takes that dimension, our knowledge will be only to that extent, what the mind has taken. This truth you should understand very well. You should think about it. That we cannot know anything beyond whatever dimension our mind takes. At least for a while also the mind has to become pure. Then only we will understand what is purity. For a while the mind has to become expansive, infinite. Then only we will know what is meant by infinite. Without the mind becoming like that, how can we know? So it is Manomayaha. Then Amritaha. When we go beyond this duality, then only the immortality strikes. Everything in creation is mortal, because it is born, it is undergoing change, and it will get into destruction. Only immortality is our I, the Purusha, who is the revealer of the universe, who is the revealer of the external universe, revealer of the internal universe of thoughts, emotions, buddhi and whatnot. It's just the revealer. So it doesn't undergo any change any time at all. So that is the only immortal. There is nothing in the world can be immortal. They are born, so they are undergoing change, they will die also. Hiranmayaha. Hiranmaya means that is Jyotishman, that is shining. That is like light. But that light is not physical light. That Purusha is a light who is allowing us to know the physical light. When no physical light is there, also that light is on. We know that it is darkness. How do we know? Or even if it is not darkness, when we are withdrawing into our mind, then also, like the cool moonlight, it is still showing our mind, the thoughts and everything. We have to change our focus, shift our focus from the thoughts to that cool Somaloka, the moonlight. Just as shifting the focus from the waves of the sea to the sea. Now he is coming down to some individual experience. Antarena taluke ya esha stana iva avalambate. Stana iva avalambate. See, here we have that uvula, which is hanging between they call it two pillars of the throat. In between, at the central point, the uvula is hanging like this. So he's saying, like the nipple of the breast, like the nipple, it is hanging at this from the top. Ya esha stana iva avalambate. It's just hanging from there. Antarena taluke. Taluke means the murdna. To pronounce that the top of our, what do you call it? Palate. That it is deep inside that, hanging from there. That is the Indra Yoni, Sendra Yonihi, Sa Indra Yonihi. That is the manifestation of Indra. Indra in this Veda is given the highest position amongst the gods. Actually, it is highest because how are we knowing the world? How are we doing anything? Without our Indriyas, could we have done anything? Our whole world perception is depending on the Indriyas. So, Indra is the master of all that. So Indra is compared with the active Brahman. That Brahman doesn't do anything. But the whole active world, the energial world, the visible world, the manifest world, the God is considered in this Veda as the Indra. So that point is called the Indra Yonihi. Why? Yatra asau keshanto vivattate. Where the hairs, end of the hairs, they split. This portion, it is called the joint of our, it's cranial joint. No? Here the center is called Brahmarandhra. That is just above the Sahasrara. There are some nerve points here. Agnya Chakra, then Sahasrara. Sahasrara is the highest point under the skull. And just above that is called the Brahmarandhra. That is the central point. People have the feeling that they say that when one dies, the prana goes through that and they get liberation and all. Vyapohya shirshaka pale. Now, the experience there, and the second part is Bhuriti Agnau Pratitishthati, Bhuvariti Vaayuh, Suvariti, Aaditya, Mahah iti Brahmani. That how a person finally is getting established first in Agni, then in Prana, then in Aditya, and then in Brahman. What they are saying is that when we are doing this Upasana by this mantra, we are trying to focus. What happens is that generally in the Yoga Shastra it is called Sushumna Nadi. That is the central point. They have not used the word Sushumna here. But in the books you will find they are referring to the Sushumna. That is, one Nadi is going upward. Now when our awareness, generally our awareness is always downward. Is it not? We don't have the awareness of the height here. Generally our awareness means the focus of our concentration. Everything is downward. The yoga is to lift our awareness from the Mooladhara, which is the downmost point here in the spine. From there lift it, bring it to the heart, then to the throat, then to the Ajna Chakra, then to the Sahasrara, and through that the liberation. This is a yogic experience people will have. People will have means we also had, so to say. If we do it seriously, I don't know, could be because of that, just the lineage, because our lineage is like that. It is said it's a mix of Vedanta and also partly Raja Yoga. Many of the yoga practitioners will have, I think. So what happens is that the Chetana goes upward, 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 and here if you can focus a little up higher than where the Brahmarandhra is, the whole consciousness gets liberated from there and immediately you will have a bodilessness experience. Now, being a science student, I will say that the experience is that I don't have a body. The experience is a sky-like experience, that body is not there. But that experience also is produced by the brain of the body. It is also in the brain. The brain is produced, or the mind you can say, not the brain but the mind. Mind is producing the experience of the body, and the bodiless experience is also produced by the mind. But it is an experience of liberation, because all the bondage and everything is connected to the body. So when the consciousness gets liberated and comes out of it, then we have the freedom, the experience of freedom. If it happens even for a few minutes or second or so, even if for a once also it happens, it has great value because we understand what it is. Not that permanently it will be there, or not that permanently you will have the knowledge of the truth by that, but it definitely gives us an Atma Sakshatkara, the experience of liberation, and what it means, what it is to have the body experience and not to have the body experience. It's a very new experience as an experience also. Many of the Hatha Yogis also may have, but they are not able to perhaps think over it and understand it through vichara, what they are supposed to do. So they repeatedly will go do it and again come back to the normal way. The knowledge part has to be incorporated to understand whatever experiences are taking place. I thought of mentioning in the Kathopanishad there is a shloka at the end. Actually, basically this shloka comes after Kathopanishad has all ended. Just before it is ended. It is Kathopanishad 2.3.16. It says, Shatanchaika cha hridayasya nadyaha. Shatanchaika cha hridayasya nadyaha. He is saying 100. Shatam means 100. Cha eka means 101. So whether there are 101 nadis, that is 101 veins or nerves or whatever they are referring to as nadis, it is not so important. Their importance 101. That is why they have used Shatam cha eka. That means there could be 100, there could be 1,000 also. We are not bothered about that, because all they are taking us to the diversified experiences of the world, to the worldly experience. But that eka is important. One of the nadis, they take us to liberation, is what Kathopanishad is saying. Shatanchaika cha hridayasya nadyaha tasam murdhanam avinishtritaika. Tasam murdhanam avinishtritaika. Of them, the 101 are the hridayasya nadya. From the hridaya there are 101 nerves or veins or nadi. It's better to use the word nadi. Nadis are coming out in various directions, all around they are going. Of them one, tasam eka, murdhanam avinishtritaika. Avinishrita eka, avinishritaika. One has gone through the murdhana, upward. Tayorudhvam ayan amritatvameti. If our consciousness, if our focus, if our awareness, we move along that, then we reach amritatva. We understand what is this immortality, what is this going beyond the objective existence. Tayordhvam ayan, coming upward through that, amritatvameti, one attains the immortality. Vishwanganya utkramane bhavanti. Vishwak anya is Vishwanganya. All others, that is the 100 they have said. I take that 101 as a figurative way. What they mean is 101. In some cases their number is also different. Here the important point is this one, that one will take us to liberation, all others take us to all different kinds of worldly experiences. So our focus should be one-pointed. so that we can reach that. In Hatha Yoga, it is called the Milana, the meeting point of the Shiva and Shakti, where we experience the Shiva Shakti Yoga, that when it's liberated. In various ways, various places, it is discussed differently. But this is the experience. Next sloka, Kathopanishad says, Angushta matraha purusho antaratma. Like a thumb is the antaratma purushaha. Sada jananam hridaye sannivishtaha. It is always there in everybody's hridaya. Sannivishtaha means samyak nivishtaha. It is always very well hidden there. Without that, nothing can be done. If that eye goes, then nothing can be done. Everything else can go, but that will be there. Tam swat sharirat pravrihen munya diva ishikam dhairyena. That has to be extracted from our own being. This one. What this the correspondence of the two. That has to be extracted from our own being. As from the munja grass, the kernel is extracted. The grass, there is a kernel inside. You have to be very carefully take out the kernel, otherwise it will break. You will not be able to extract it. So very softly, delicately, you have to focus and you have to know that this is the inside and you have to take out. Munja deva ishikam. Ishika is the inside that. Tam vidyat shukram amritam. Tam vidyat shukram amritam iti. See, they have repeated the importance of this. Know that is the pure and that is the amritattva. Know that that is the amritattva. Twice they have said. This mantra, the chapter 6, I will do again next day also to some extent, whatever is. Now, with all these things, the end, he ends with, this part, just I will say, Apnoti swarajyam, apnoti manasaspatim, vakpatis chakshuspatihi, shrotrapatihi, vijnanapatihi, etat tato bhavati, akasha shariram brahma, satyatma pranaramam, mana anandam, Shanti Samriddham Amritam. See, so much they have discussed about this great experience. What is that? Apnoti Swarajyam. We sing every day before starting the lecture, Swarajya. That Swarajya is the kingdom of the self. That means there is no other king there. It is complete independence. That is the meaning of freedom. Swarajya, it is our own Rajya. It is the Rajya of the self. So he apnoti swarajyam, that means he attains that, the kingdom of the self, of which he himself, that is, there is no other dependence, no other rulership. He becomes absolutely free. Apnoti manasaspatim. He attains that who is the ruler of the mind. The mind is coming from somewhere. The mind is coming out of the consciousness. So he attains that consciousness which is the ruler of the mind. Vakpatis chakshuspatihi, shrotrapati, vijnanapati, all of the sound of the ears, of the eyes, of the sound, of the buddhi. He is the ruler of everything he attains. Etat tato bhavati. He becomes like that. Akasha. How does he, what does he become? Akasha shariram brahma. He becomes sky-like, as if his body is sky-like, all pervading Brahman. Satyatma, he attains the truth. He identifies the truth with his own identity, Atma. Pranaramam, it is not just the identification of the truth in knowledge, but the pranaramam means he finds the life there. The life delights him there. It's a practical experience that he finds as if the life is feeling everywhere. It is the spandana, the vibration of life everywhere. Mana Anandam, he experiences bliss. The mind becomes full of bliss. That is the real bliss. We generally refer to bliss, bliss, bliss. That is not the bliss. The bliss is when we are when we are experiencing the freedom. That is the real bliss. Shanti Samriddham, the peace, the kind of peace we have never experienced, that peace dawns. He becomes Samriddha, he becomes enriched with that peace. Amritam, that is the immortality. Iti prachinya yogyopasat. Iti prachinya yogyopasva. O Prachina Yajna, meditate like this. This is the finale of Vyaahritis Upasana. The sadhana for knowledge of truth is Shravana Manana Nididhyasana, which is different. This is the ultimate of Upasana. O Prachina Yajna, you meditate like this. Okay. I will try to mention the important points again so that it. Om Shanno Mitrasham Varunah.
Om Shanno Mitrasham Varunah.
Shanno Bhavatvaryama.
Shanno Bhavatvaryama.
Shanna Indro Brihaspatihi.
Shanna Indro Brihaspatihi.
Shanno Vishnurukramah.
Shanno Vishnurukramah.
Namo Brahmane Namaste Vayo.
Namo Brahmane Namaste Vayo.
Tvameva Pratyaksham Brahmasi.
Tvameva Pratyaksham Brahmasi.
Tvameva Pratyaksham Brahma vadishyami.
Tvameva Pratyaksham Brahma vadishyami.
Hrutam vadishyami.
Ritam vadishyami.
Satyam vadishyami.
Satyam vadishyami.
Tanmamavatu.
Tanmamavatu.
Tadbhaktaramavatu.
Tadbhaktaramavatu.
Avatu mamavatu bhaktaram.
Avatu mamavatu bhaktaram.
Om Shanti Shanti Shanti.
Om Shanti Shanti Shanti.
Om Shanti Shanti Shanti.
Om